Give it that like, follow and share. You watch the video to the end, you're going to like what's at the end.
The big question I get asked is, when did it all start and why?
Gentlemen, it so happens I've spent my life fixing things for people.
I thought you were going to fix my getting into number 10.
I've already done so.
Can I thank you for everything you do for every good cause? Can I thank you for everything you do for every good cause? Can I thank you for everything you do for every good cause?
But it was abnormal.
Screen in front of him, it's like you couldn't see through it. Screen in front of him, it's like you couldn't see through it. Screen in front of him, it's like you couldn't see through it.
The relationship between Margaret Thatcher and Jimmy Savile spanned over more than a decade. This was always while Thatcher rose to power, was in some kind of office or position of power at some time. It's surprising what she says about him as well. And a very, very familiar relationship of Jimmy Savile, let's come round for dinner, which he did repeatedly, which is written and recorded in their diaries and so forth.
Hello, welcome. Come in.
I must introduce all our friends.
I'm Lucy.
You're Lucy.
When you were small, did you ever want to be the Prime Minister?
No, when I was small, I don't think one ever thought that there could ever be a woman Prime Minister of Britain. You know, we didn't, Jimmy, in those days, did we?
No, but we always hoped.
We always hoped, all right.
You're going to fix it.
Women have come on so much during my lifetime. I still haven't quite made it to number 10 Downing Street, but I just hope that I'll do one day.
The young people have had such a marvellous time. These badges are Jim will fix it badges, you see, that when they've had it fixed for them, they get them awarded. So,
don't I get one?
well, actually,
I thought you were going to fix my getting into number 10.
I've already done so.
I thought you were going to fix my getting into number 10.
I've already done so. But I was going to see you privately about that, because I wouldn't want too many people to realise how I'd done it. Because they could all finish up as being Prime
Then you can
Minister.
give me a Jim. Well, Jim has fixed it for me.
Indeed,
all right.
We are a great listening hospital. We listen to people. I listen to nurses. I listen to doctors. I listen to porters. I listen to drivers. I listen to everybody. Yeah, we've turned into a great listening hospital.
In various media interviews, had always expressed his interest in the dead. On record, there are a number of interviews he gave with various journalists over the years making that particular remark. And we had two accounts from completely unrelated and unconnected witnesses who talked about the fact that he wore very huge rings that he said were made from the glass eyes of dead bodies from his friends at Leeds General Infirmary. Now, whether that was bravado or whether that was true, was a comment he made. And then we heard an account from a former nurse at Broadmoor who, when they were a student, had a conversation with Savile at night. It was a quiet night, and Savile was talking to this student nurse about what happened when it was quiet at Leeds General Infirmary, and said that he went to the mortuary at night and played with the bodies and committed sex acts on them. We have no way of verifying whether that was true or not. What we do know is that his interest in the dead was pretty unwholesome, and that the controls around access to the mortuary up to the early 1980s were not robust.
What we were in the process of trying to do was improve the life of patients there, because it was being run like a prison, and many of them were there for a very long time. He made an appointment to see me, and said, I'm full of ideas, I'm full of lots of ideas. And then what he came up with was actually quite odd. And looking at it now, I think I can see what he was getting up to. He'd gone through the payroll and found out that some of the prison officers were paying themselves more than they were supposed to get. He had gone through
How
the property...
did he have access to the payroll? That's weird, isn't it?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
We had asked him to advise us on how to improve the lives of the patients.
Okay, but it's been presented as that you put him in charge of a task force that were kind of running the place. That's no.
He was not in charge.
Okay.
Civil servant was in charge.
But had you appointed him to this task force?
Do you know, it's my memory of it is that he offered himself. Recommended himself.
And you accepted him at the time. And I suppose because...
everybody did.
Yeah, you were, in a way you were duped by him as well. Because
More now on the Jimmy Savile scandal. The TV presenter and founder of the Childline charity, Esther Ranson, is a way that abused children can ask for help safely
and confidentially.
So much easier, though, for children to ask for help, if when adults hear rumours, they do something about it. The NSPCC says everyone has a responsibility to protect children. You do not have to be a parent. If you are worried about any child, act straight away. And it's clear, isn't it, that people didn't, including you.
Pardon?
Including you. You say that you're culpable too.
Can you tell me a child that I was worried about that I didn't help?
Well, it seems peculiar to appear in a documentary on television last week.
Yes.
Saying that you were aware of rumours about abuse.
Yes.
And then to say that you didn't know anything specific.
Of course I didn't know anything specific.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true, our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Yeah. Arm in arm, we'll win the fight. It's always been our dream. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true, our courage will pull us through.
I know what you want. Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong, it's too powerful. And after all, we shared everything, you and I. I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think. And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't.
Pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
I'd like to reassure you no Freemasons were harmed in the making of Jimmy Savile. And none of these women were questioned or arrested. No one can work it out. My G. You alright, my G? Who's got a big old G? Who's the G unit? I don't know, who could it be?